Shows it'd be different receivers.
The only thing it could be is maybe one of the gears inside for the shifting fork is not letting it engage fully. It's giving you enough to engage, but not letting it go completely into gear,
I don't know.
which could be causing it to walk out.
I don't know. Just very annoying.
So I got another question on this tactic. It says B123 on it. Is the B for like if I put it in a gasoline powered?
B is for bind.
Okay. Because I was looking on the internet and they said the one that says B is for a battery if you run gasoline for the servo.
It can be as well, yes, but it's on that particular one, the main designation for the B on that is for bind.
Bind. Okay.
Okay, we are back live on YouTube now. But
But this
with Zoom.
this should be bound already, right? You think?
It should be, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, got my windows all set. Everything is fine.
So then number one is for what's number one for?
Steering.
One is
Steering and
steering,
number
2 is go. One,
to turn,
Okay.
2 burn.
All right, and then
one
three is
turn,
just
2
an
burn.
extra one for lights and crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Lyle.
Today.
Oh, Lyle.
Hey, now,
See if I can do this now.
How's everybody doing?
we're doing good.
Good.
All it's doing is raining.
Live.
So I tried to do something earlier. For some odd reason, it was all buggered up and we were getting a lot of bad echo and things like that. Oh, he wants to talk. John Martin wants to talk. He's got his hand raised.
Thank you.
You can put your hand down now. Like I was saying earlier, last week, I had some bad comments in the chat saying that I was the worst host ever in the whole wild world, that I did not know how to manage or host a panel, that everybody was doing whatever they wanted. Very mean comment, I find, because it is my show. I'm going to run it the way I want it. If people want to talk, I'm going to let them talk. If we have a certain subject, I'm going to talk about that subject. And also, yes, we do have Brad that cuts in a lot, but Brad is not the only one that does it. I've noticed a lot of other people that actually do it. I do kind of let it go also, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more
Attentive.
strict on this and make sure that people don't cut in and make sure that other people finish, because it's very rude, first of all. And when you cut in, you kind of stop the guy's train of thought. When he's going somewhere, he's thinking of something, all of a sudden you cut him off by asking him a question, and then he goes back, goes, okay, what the heck was I talking about? What was I saying? Or which point was I saying? So it's very rude to cut in between them. So Psycho Garage, how you doing? Radioactive Scale is there. Island RC Duke is there. So how's everybody tonight? Let's start by saying hi to everybody. How are you, Trail Critter? And what have you been doing this week?
Trail critter or trail crawler?
It's Crawler. Sorry. It's been a long week.
Oh, you're fine. Just been dodging raindrops all week and can't wait for tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So my weekend starts. But
Cool.
other than that, just trying to stay cool and trying to stay dry.
Cool. Lazy Froggy, what have you been doing this week?
And trying to work on my car. Started working on it yesterday and hurt my hand, so I can't finish it.
Well, if you're going to hurt yourself, of course you won't be able to finish stuff. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, I kind of need the thing for Saturday, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna have it done.
Okay. John
Then
Martin,
other
what
than
have you been up to? Any races?
That's
No,
what I'm
I
supposed to be doing Saturday.
Right, hey, AZ Froggy, you're cutting. I'm not
I
talking
didn't
to
hear
you.
you
I'm
say his
talking
name.
to
I
John Martin.
apologize.
Yeah, he mentioned my name, but that was all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
He was talking to you, and we both raced, so okay.
I know people are going to get mad. People are just
Yeah,
going to
you know.
get mad. I know that. Go ahead,
Yeah.
John Martin. What have you been doing?
Well, I've been ordering new ESCs and motors and trying to do evil things with the RC cars.
Evil things. Ooh.
Yeah. We got a race coming up that is going to have an outlaw mud boss, so I had to order
A
a
big
ESC,
motor.
a better ESC, and yeah, I picked up a motor, and yeah,
Cool.
so I got to solder up later, a little bit later on here.
Cool. Brad, what have you been up to?
Well, I bought a pinion for my Grasshopper 2 because I want an 18 tooth because it'll fit the 540 because it comes with a 380 and that has a totally different tooth and a different setup. It's been raining. I could have possibly done something today, but I had to go to a food bank today, and it was good for a little bit. It's supposed to rain again all week, maybe even into next week. I'm having the same trouble Dennis is because he's going to get pretty much the same weather as I am where he is at. I mean, he's not that far from me, and he's even shaking his head. I'm correct. It has been a hot, wet summer. I don't mind the heat.
Yeah.
I mind the rain. It's been a rainy summer, and I wish it would just stop. We need a dry spell because we're getting flooding. Not that I'm getting it, but people are getting flooding.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's just raining at an inch at a time, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's 10 inches of snow.
We were supposed to get some rain here, but it was pretty nice all week, so I'm kind of happy with that.
There's only one problem with
Right.
this heat and all this rain. The mosquitoes are carrying people away.
They're carrying people away. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot here too. KBRC, what have you been doing this week?
Trying to run them gremlins out of that stampede I got, and sent out AZ's Froggy's painting, and being bummed out because my RC shop's going away. My hobby shop's moving.
Oh yeah, hobby shop is moving. Wow.
Yep, they're closing down. The rent's too expensive for where they're staying, so going probably about 45 minutes away instead of 10.
Wow. Yeah, my hobby shop also moved. They used to be 35 minutes away, and now they're an hour away. So that's not fun. Brad, we'll get back to your hand in a little bit. We'll finish with the people first. Lyle, what have you been up to?
Just going out trailing, waiting for the water to drop. I've had the opposite weather here. It's been 30 degrees for like a freaking month. Like I would love some rain. I'll trade you guys weather any day.
Yeah, it has been hot. That's for sure.
I'll be glad to give it to you.
Radioactive scale. What have you been up to?
He's muted.
Yeah, your mic's
Yeah.
not working. Select a different mic.
How about now?
Yeah, now it's working.
Okay, perfect. Nothing but working this week. Not a lot of RCing. Been working, but I've been online with Paul over at 110 Hobbies building a kit order for a gatekeeper. So he's helping me out, getting me some pricing and doing a package up for me, and going to send me out a kit here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
But you're all the way in Alberta, and he's in Ontario.
Yep.
Cool.
I got it. I went to his site and I contacted him from him being on that stream that we did a while back. And
cool.
I can get one out here, but I can't get all the supporting parts. There's just the electronics are hard to get out here right now.
Oh, really? Wow.
But he's got the gatekeeper on right now for $299.
Yes, I know. It's a very good special. Actually, my Greg, the guy that owns Ollie's RC park there, he's thinking of getting one tomorrow. We're actually going there, so.
Yeah, he's only got 6 units left, I think, as of I saw yesterday. So
Yeah.
I got to pull the trigger pretty quick here, I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's all I've
tomorrow
been
you
up to.
might have less because my buddy's gonna pick one up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Brad, you got your hand up. What do you want to say?
I forgot to tell everybody I have a new phone. Hopefully, I will have better videos. Not that I'm real good at making videos anyways, because I think it has a slow mode on my camera. So
There, you're spotlighted. So
doesn't look any different to me. But the phone is bigger. It's a Moto E, a Motorola, and got an extended warranty for it because I have problems with the charging parts a lot with them, and it has a problem. I can replace it in 2 years, within 2 years.
cool.
So hopefully it's a lot better phone.
Cool. Me, I've been working this week on my Tonka Winnebago, putting lights on it, light kit from Tamaya, and also interior lights and lights on top also. So this thing's friggin' heavy. So basically I put a bunch of lights on top here. And I also drilled some in the back here. I drilled 3 of them on top here. And in the cap, I actually put lighting here in the cap. So it's actually blue light. So it kind of looks kind of cool. I did put a video on Instagram and my Facebook about it real quick that it shows inside. It's kind of neat with the blue thing. So who the heck is that there on the bottom? That's a stranger.
It's Sean.
No,
Wait.
look carefully who it is.
Oh, it's Steve-O. I'm sorry. I should have recognized it. Hello, Steve-O. How are you doing? You look like you lost a lot of weight too.
I'm just now putting weight back on. I was a lot smaller from the chemo.
Cool.
Hello, Steve-O.
Hey, what's going on,
Good to
guys?
see you, Steve.
Good to see you, man.
Tivo D back on RC Talk. Good to see you. That's for sure.
Yeah, thought I'd stop in and see what's going on. What you guys been up to? Same old
Making
same.
kits. I have 2 more kits that I in the process of finishing. One starting. I have a Grasshopper 2 Black Edition with the CVA shocks.
Nice.
4 CVA shocks, and I have the Memorial Edition Fighter Buggy RX, which I used to have in the past, but not this type of model. This one has 4 CVA shocks on it too, unlike the other one. And it's a different color. Comes with great decals on it. Nice black body. They're both black, so I have 2 black cars.
Cool.
I wish you had the benefit of getting some more stuff for yourself in building, because I'm sure you would love to get back to it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think first he's going to get back in health, and then he's gonna start building again.
I'm hoping he will, and he'll take up Fridays again like he used to when things go better. So, is the prognosis good?
Not really, but hopefully miracle happens.
We want to see you up on your feet, man.
Yeah, I want to prove all the doctors wrong. I think I got more.
I find your audio, Steve OD, is a little low, but I did crank it up a little bit, but it should be good.
I got my earbuds I could try to use if it's still low.
Well, when you bring up the phone a little closer, it's a little bit better. But if you have earbud, it would make it better.
Okay, yeah, when my mom comes back,
I'll just,
trash,
I can mute you and
Ma, can you get the headphones?
there. I just muted you for now. You can unmute yourself, I guess, in a bit once you get your headphones on. And don't forget, guys, if you type shout out in one word into the chat, you will get a shout out with a link to your website. So you can try that.
Frank, you were saying there earlier that somebody was being rude in the comments there last week.
Yep.
I don't get very many negative comments on my YouTube. I'm pretty lucky with my followers, but I had 1, 2, or 3 videos ago. It's like, well, it's nice that you finally got a new camera. Now you just need to learn how to edit. I've been doing this 11 years now. I think I know how to edit. You just don't like my edit.
Yeah, the comments were in the live chat and not in the video after the fact. So it's during the live chat. that the comment appeared. So
They're probably just upset I left her.
yeah, maybe.
Hey, when war zone calls, I gotta go. Gotta defend my country and all that bullshit.
Hey, Nitro Freak and Big Head RC, how you guys doing? I did send you guys a link. You should be on the email list. If you guys want to pop in and create some havoc here, you're more than welcome.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Stefan from the LED Wheel is in the chat. So he does 3D printing. Like he printed this one up. That's the last one for last event that wasn't given away. So I got one left. And a scale vise. And it actually works. To go on the bench. Some goodies to give away at the next event. They are just hating on you, Lyle. But you know, Lyle, everybody's a pro. Everybody's a pro, other than you.
Yeah.
So you're always going to get bad comment. You're always going to get thing. And I know I'm always going to get bad comments. And there's always somebody better than me and things like that. And I try my best, and that's all I can do for myself. So, and that's the same thing.
You're the best I know, but this is you and Sean are the only two I know that do this. So.
Okay.
I can tell you're better than him. Sorry, Sean, I love you.
Where's that leave? Jack? He thinks he's the best, but he's usually humble about it.
Jack Live? Never watched Jack Live.
So now you got to go in your settings and you got to select your earbuds in your settings for receive in your audio settings in your little microphone, Steve OD. You got to go select your speakers and select your microphone.
Thanks, Curtis.
Well, your videos are getting way better, Lyle. They're getting way better.
Well, that camera helps a lot. It's
Yeah.
way better than trying to get a GoPro 1 foot from the RC the entire time you're driving.
As much as I like the GoPro, I hate them. Like, to me, I get better quality videos out of my S10 than I do out of the GoPro. It's crazy.
My cell phone is definitely better than a GoPro. It's the waterproofness and lightness of it.
Yeah.
Like I use a GoPro 7 Silver. It weighs nothing, and you don't need a case to put it underwater, so you don't have to change cases anymore with them.
Well, most phones now are waterproof.
Yeah, I don't know about mine. I doubt it.
Okay.
I bought the cheapest thing iPhone had last year.
Oh, looks like Steph from the LED Wheel does not like his gatekeeper. Well, he said he wouldn't get another one. Me neither.
I got one around here, broke it right away.
Oh, yeah, he broke it? What did he break?
Suspension pieces in the back. I didn't look at it too closely. It's just anyone I know who's got one has broken them so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Mind you, I did not break mine, but I didn't do a lot of big jumps with it or like.
Well, these are guys that are putting 3800 kV 3S systems in it, right?
To me, that's the biggest problem with some people with the size of motor that everybody's putting in there. It's just crazy.
I need to find some gatekeeper shock hoops so I can drop my ride height down.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I got these stupid things, the keys, and they don't fit.
Well, can't you 3D print them?
I haven't found a file for them.
Maybe somebody can find you a file. Anybody got files for? Did you try sending Voodoo an email or I don't know? Brad,
yet.
what's up, Brad?
I wanted to, not that anybody would care. I wanted to tell everybody who likes WL Toys, if there's anybody out there, they are now getting brushless along their whole as an option along their whole group of cars.
Oh,
As
really?
an option. Yeah, they're going brushless.
Even like their 1/16 scale or whatever, like their smaller stuff.
Yes, you know how I have the 14 scale one? Well, they have that one in brushless system with a 3400 kV. And they're going it to the 12th scale, and I hear the 10th scale is supposed to get it. All the 12 scales are going to get it. I haven't seen anything about the 16th, but I assume everything will be an option in brushless throughout the whole board.
I can imagine this little guy on brushless.
Well, that is 1/10.
Yeah, that's true, but I can't imagine it on
Yeah.
brushless. It's already too fast.
Yeah. And some people still don't realize it actually has 2-speed. Some people don't know that yet.
I thought it had 3 speeds.
Does it sound any better? I think I got the connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
We hear you good. We hear you good.
And get whatever phone Brad uses. It's got a really good microphone.
Why? Is my phone sounding good?
Your audio is good.
Good.
Can hear you quite well.
Well, I'm glad because it's a Motorola. It should be better than anything I've ever had.
Can't believe
RC84.
my phones. I haven't had one of those since they did flips.
Yeah, well, this is not the top of line Motorola. There's a Razor, which is far more advanced than this.
Oh, the
but
Razor's still around? Holy shit.
I think, yeah, I like the idea that they had all the camera options on it. What's nice about this one, I have 2 cameras on this one still.
Oh, look at it. He's holding up a phone.
This one's got 3.
Which one is that one?
$1,400 for this damn thing. iPro 12 Pro Max.
Okay.
iPhone. Yeah. I haven't had a phone in 3 years. This is the first one I've had in 3 years.
And right now you're using which one?
That one right there, I just bought that one. Well, payment plans because it was $1,400.
Okay. But the one you're using on Zoom right now, what is that? The tablet or what is it?
Oh no, that's my my laptop.
The laptop? Okay.
Yeah, MacBook.
I'll stick
Cool.
with my OnePlus phone.
Well, I figured I had to treat myself. I haven't had a phone for years, but now I don't even know how the hell to use the damn thing. There's so many.
Yeah.
It's like a computer. It's a little confusing. Probably could have got away with a freaking prepaid phone.
Just dig up an old Nokia phone. Battery's probably still good in it.
Hey, I added $10 to this to our warranty for 2 years. And so the phone was $64, but then it was $74 with that thing.
Oh my God.
It's a pretty decent phone for $74.
Yeah.
If it functions, I'd still be impressed. This was the cheapest phone that iPhone had. There's Molly. Oh, there was Molly. This is the cheapest phone that iPhone had last year, and it was $780.
This is from Track Phone, and since I'm on SafeLink in my country for like an Obama phone system setup, they said I had to buy a Track Phone, so I got this, and I really wanted. There was a Samsung, but they were all out of those, so I went to the Motorola, which was like the next best one they had, and that's what I got here, the Motorola E, or Moto E is what they call it, and I think I'll be able to do slow motion photography with it by just setting it to do that when I do a video. I'm hoping it'll do. I'm hoping to be able to do that.
You take 1 billion pictures.
I don't know. I know the video is supposed to be better. It's got 2 cameras. So
Yeah, it's probably got 2 cameras because one is wide angle and the other one's regular lens, just like I got.
yeah, I still have 3. Actually, I have 3 cameras. The one that you see me on now,
Yeah.
and 2 in the back.
Thank you, Nitro.
So I mean, I thought I was gonna have a terrible trouble like cloning my old phone before it died because the battery, because the thing that charges it went bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the charging port died on me, so I couldn't charge anymore. I still have like 29 or 25% power on the old one, but I got this and I had to try to get it all on. I had to try to transfer everything onto this phone. Why I had some power in it. I was worried.
Did you try to upload a video on YouTube yet?
No, I was hoping to try to do one today, but I had things to do, and it was threatening to rain all day, and it didn't. But it's supposed to rain tonight,
Okay.
and it's supposed to rain all the rest of the week. So I wanted to do something today, but I had other things to do, unfortunately, because I really want to do it with a new video with this. And maybe I'll try to see if I can set it to do slow-mo, because I went to a certain program in the camera and it's so slow-mo.
Yeah.
So I pressed that and I'm hoping now to be able to do a slow-mo.
Yeah, the slow-mo works pretty good on the camera on the Android phones.
I haven't
So-
even tried it.
Oh, no, they work pretty good.
The face is much bigger than the other one. I mean, this is the phone I replaced.
Cool.
It fits right in the center of this phone screen. It's that much bigger.
Okay. Oh, look at the doggy.
The doggy.
Ollie!
Slow motion scratch.
Slow-mo chin scratch. And a licking of mouth.
Yeah.
I might love my dog.
Well, your dog looks very content.
Oh, she's the happiest dog around, man.
Oh,
Many-
Nikki's asking a
Many
good
of my friends
question.
happy with this.
Nikki's asking a good question. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Anyone here have advice on the suspension setup geometry for the gatekeeper?
Or gatekeeper.
I went with stock, and right now I have no problem with the stock, but I have not tried rock climbing with it or doing different stuff with it. So other than stiffening up your shocks at the back if you want, or in the front, to me, it's when you set up your car, you set up to what you like it, and
Exactly.
not to what somebody else's thinks they like it, because the way you drive your truck, it might be different than somebody else.
And where you drive it to, if you're going to use it for rock crawling or trail raging or something.
Frank should call it with the setup he has for normal, the rock hopping, and should call it the raging hopping.
Thank you, Magnified.
Magnified's calling you a king. What do you mean belly flop at TF2? You belly flop TF2s? What's going on with that?
I'll launch them into the water, sure.
That means you're running them real fast.
Yeah, I don't own Shelf Queens.
No.
No Shelf Queens here. Some may get used less, but I still use them. I still get around to using them again. No Shelf Queens. Even my toys, I still use them. There are no Shelf Queens here.
Well, after 7 years, I finally blew up the motor in my TF2, so that was good. That was a good run.
Is that the one you talked about the other day?
I'm not sure.
I know you said you had a problem with one, but someone said it might have been something else that really didn't burn out.
No, that was on another motor. That was on something else. I can't remember which one.
There was a Tika motor that you burned up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a Tekin motor.
Yeah, and it's right here.
But you could probably replace the rotor if it's bad.
No, it did go back. This Reedy read-on is a 5-slot, but I went in sand with it, and I guess the sand got close to where the brush is, and the brush weren't not making contact with the top pin for the motor. So I was getting, like, I was trying to go with it, and it was going chick, 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 like very, like it wanted to go, but not. So when I took it apart and cleaned it, that's when I noticed the brush weren't like, so I knew
That's
they
why
were.
I don't have rebuildable motors. I
That's-
can't handle what I need them to do.
I didn't get that, Lyle.
That's why I don't run rebuildable motors, because they can't handle what I need them to do, because I always run in water and mud like I'm attracted to it. I can't go in RC without covering a truck in mud. So yeah, I need to run, like, axials seem to work best for me. An axial 27 turn or an axial 35 turn. They're only $14 here, so they're nice and cheap. But they don't stop. I could run them through mud and water most of the time, and they usually don't stop. Unless I'm trying to really slow crawl, like if you watch the Toyota videos, like 2 or 3 videos ago, it kept stopping in the mud, but that was nasty mud. But brushless would have made it, but then you're snapping parts every time you do that.
Yeah, I find that too, that the rebuildable motors they can't handle abuse as much as the other ones.
Well, it's the springs. If you can get different springs from Tekin, different spring tension, so you can get
Okay.
a really hard spring that won't happen as much. But then you're burning brushes in like an hour.
Hmm.
I've tried it before because the Tekin 35 turn machine wound used to be like a $25 or $30 motor around here.
Okay.
But same deal. We call it hung brush. When you get a brush that's not touching the column, we call it a hung brush. You have to pull the wire and let the brush snap back into the column again so the motor will run. That'll get the dirt out of it. But then we keep trying to eliminate that problem. Then we put stronger springs on and different brushes because you get different shape of brushes and different materials and
Yep.
running high end and stuff like that. And yes, I've tried Holmes Hobbies. I have a couple of them, and no, same deal. They're great if you keep them dry and clean, but yeah, I can't run them for what I do with them. Yeah, they're great when they're dry and clean. You'll never get a better slow crawl than a rebuildable motor than you will off a $15 or $25. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Throwaway motor.
And I find you got to watch where you're running also in water. Like at Holly's here, we run in the creek, but there's it's a very sandy creek. It's not mud, it's sand. And I find those are bad for the motors also. And also very mucky water. That's bad for the motor also because it just gets in the motor and it just stalls it.
Yeah, because the sand is mainly, I think, glass and rock.
Yeah.
Basically. And yeah, it's they wears the shit out of them real fast. Not only the brushes, but it'll wreck your comm too. And that's why I'd rather just run a $20 motor and steal the wires off it when it dies and go get it.
I hear there's now a new buildable kit for the Kaiju.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a buildable kit now. That's something you might look into possibly because you like to build things.
Oh, I got way too many things to build. I don't think I'll buy it for a little bit.
Like your CCO2.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you get that done.
You get the semi done, Frank?
No, I got to work on the light kits on that. So that's probably something else I have to finish off is the lights on that. This week because there's a city crawl. It's a park crawl tomorrow afternoon, around 6:30, in Pembroke. So I'm gonna go to that, and I wanted to make sure I had lights on my Winnebago. We're doing it during the day, but I just wanted to do the lights. It's been so long I was putting it off. So, hey,
You see, you're going to Pembroke?
Yeah.
That's like 20 minutes from my hometown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm debating on selling my house and moving back there too because I got land on the Bonnechere River just outside Ottawa.
Cool.
I mean, my mom's getting old. She's fairly old. I don't think she's as old as you, but she's getting up there.
Thanks. I think she's older than I am.
67?
67. Yeah, she's older than I am. I'm just 54.
I can't believe your mother had you very young because you're within 20 years of her age.
Yeah, probably. I'm 44.
So
You're younger than me.
Sorry, what was that, Sparky?
Said you're younger than me.
yes.
Probably.
I'm 52.
Yeah,
So
I'm
am
much
I.
younger than you.
Almost 8 years. About 8 years.
Hey Frank, again for the bit for your motors there for the fine silt. Your wife has some old nylons. You can take that and use those as a filter to go over the motor so you don't get as much stuff in them.
If she can spare them.
That's why I said old.
Yeah,
Hey.
well, even you go to the dollar store, you can buy nylons for pretty cheap at the dollar store.
Yeah,
We've
use it
tried,
as a filter on the motor so it doesn't get all that fine stuff in there, or not as much.
we've tried that around
try
here as
that.
well. There's a couple different tricks, and there's some people out there that actually sell covers for motors.
Yeah.
The problem is it slightly increases heat, and stuff that does get in there, and it can't get out.
Yeah. No, we use them here at times just because of all the dust.
And sand.
So Nikki's asking, Lyle, do you come from Renfrew or Castleford?
Golden Lake.
Golden Lake. Okay.
Hey, Frank, are you going to do a night crawl in Ottawa?
Downtown Ottawa, yeah, I'm planning on probably doing one this year. Downtown Ottawa during the night. It's a lot of fun. Everything is reopening now, so nightlife is gonna start again, which is gonna be nice and fun.
Can
People
you?
are putting their ages up in the chat. Everyone's old.
Everybody, you want to know something? I noticed with the group of people I talk to, most of us are middle-aged guys.
Yeah.
We grew up early in life loving the hobby. And that's why we're probably the main majority of the people who love the hobby.
Well, watching all the changes has been amazing. Like,
Yeah.
there's some things in life that barely ever change, but you can't take an RC from the 80s or 90s compare it to today's RCs. They're nothing like each other.
I have a new friend named Steve, and I think Frank met him briefly when he was here. I told him what he used to race the cars. He used to race them. I told him what's happened in the hobby, and so he decided to get right back in it. Because
I get that same conversation all the time with customers and coworkers.
Yeah.
They're like, "So you got yourself a Nitro so you can rip around?" I'm like, "Nitro's dead, man. Dude,
it's practically dead."
Nitro every day of the week. He's like, "No way, electrics suck. You have to charge them for 8 hours. They only run for 5 minutes." I'm like, "Times have changed, my friend."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I show him a video. I show him a Traxxas Rustler catwalking across the water. How the fuck does that happen? Loads of power.
You should have shown him. You should have shown him an X-Max doing that.
Charge up for 8 hours. That guy's still charging up NIMS or what? What's going on?
Well, he knew because he only knew the batteries that he used for his receivers and his nitros back in the 80s. And those were the only thing he knew. He's like, yeah, they took hours and hours to charge, and you can only run your car for 5 minutes. Why would I do that? Nitro lasts all day. I'm like, if you want to drive slowly through the countryside, sure, get yourself a nitro. If you want to go fast, get yourself electric every day.
And electric has more torque, and they now, depending on what you're running, they can run 30 minutes on the average now. 30 minminutes.
When I run my
the battery,
4x4, I have 17 mil adapters on it. I run truggy tires, and I have a Castle 2200 kV 1415 motor. I'll run that on a 5,000 mAh 3-cell. That's about 45 minutes runtime. So I take 3 with me, and I have a solar panel and a battery and a charger in the trunk of the car. So by the time I can charge one bat, I've burnt 2. So with my 3 batteries, I can go for about 4 or 5 batteries in a row.
Nice.
And it runs longer than a tank of gas on a nitro. 45 minutes.
Nitro guys always have a point that good batteries are freaking expensive, and you need a lot of them to get your money's worth out of the track. Like in Calgary, it's $10 to go to the racetrack.
Okay.
And that's the day, right? So if you only take 2 batteries with you, it's not very cost efficient. But if you have 3 or 4 batteries and a charger, yeah, you can spend half a day running continuously.
And nitro fuel, nitro fuel is very expensive too. So it's just as expensive as some batteries.
The price has gone up for nitro.
Yeah, compared to a battery, nitro fuel is cheaper now. I'm a big nitro guy. I was a big nitro guy. I race nitro, and I've seen the evolution from electric when I was a kid to the nitro, getting older, getting money in your pocket, racing nitro. Now I'm back to electric because, like Lyle said, nitro's dead. But I could put 3 receiver battery packs in my pocket and a jug of nitro, and I'd be out all day.
Yeah,
like all day, no problem, right? But nitro
There's
is
still
dead.
a lot of guys that run. There's like hardcore Nitro E-Revo guys, or not E-Revo, Revos.
Revos, yeah.
Yeah, and they're nice machines, and some of them they'll expand the tires on takeoff. They're not, but they've got huge expensive motors in there, and every modification you can think of to get them to that point.
Yeah,
they are impressive and they are fun. But man, I'll take the electric all day. You throw that tires on the Slash, there's not a Revo that'll keep up with it.
You've got to find somewhere to run nitro that doesn't disrupt everybody else. That's the problem with nitro.
There is a track here in Calgary, or a couple of tracks for that here in Calgary. The problem is none of the dirt around here. Apparently, I'm not heavy into it. This is what guys who are heavy into it that have told me. The dirt around here is extremely tough on motors, so you have to change out your air filter about every 10 minutes, which really sucks because guys show up with like a big shopping bag full of freaking
Yeah.
filters, all pre-oiled. And as soon as their filters are done, that's when they leave, not when they run out of fuel. And then in the 1/5 scales, I guess something to do with the pull start. The dirt gets into the pull start, and it acts like you put a sheet of sandpaper inside your pull start. You can only actually start your vehicle about 100 times, and then you have to replace the pull start.
It can get expensive. I had everything on a bump starter, so I had no pull starters. You get more horsepower out of your nitros without that pull start. So, but yeah, it can get expensive. I still have fuel sitting in the house that I don't have a nitro left. I have 2 gas, but
horsepower ratings on nitro motors?
the horsepower range.
Is there a horsepower rating on nitro motors?
There is, yeah. You can
Yes.
get it. You can get a dyno. Yeah,
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
yeah. It's like a 21 OS 21. I think is like a 0.8 horsepower or 0.4 horsepower.
Sounds about right.
These are videos I want to watch now.
Yeah,
You know what's funny is that the X-Max comes with a 5 horsepower electric motor. I mean, that's already.
Yeah. Guru's RC saying nitro is not dead. It's
Not
not
sure.
dead, but
it's not dead to the professionals, but it's
No.
dead to the bashers
Yes.
to the bashers.
and the regular RC guy. I agree. It is not dead to those hardcore racers. Like you look at Adam Drake, who I follow constantly. Every video he puts out today, I still watch. The guy's amazing. But they're still hard at it, and the companies are still hard at it. But when you look at the consumer side of it, I can't find a nitro except for a Revo. I can't find a 1/8 scale buggy anymore in my area.
Mhm.
Is what I used to run, right?
Well, you can still buy them online. Everybody has them, but the problem is not a lot of stores are stocking them because
That's
they
right.
can't
You
get
can't
rid of
find them. Yeah, you can't find them anymore. And I had a fleet of them. I built them and raced them. So, and I got rid of them all, right? But the nitro guys, I still watch their videos constantly because I'm still into that. I
Yeah.
grew up doing that, right?
Well, the
But,
cool factor will never go away.
Yeah, it just won't go away. I love the smell of nitro. It's just
Well-
like the smell of 2-stroke motors, right?
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that smell, right?
But
Well,
yeah, when you get to the track with your car, or you go somewhere to bash, you go somewhere to have fun with your nitro, when you take it out of the car, how long does it take you to get ready to hit the trails with it?
2 minutes.
Because you have to tune it.
Nope, it's all right, unless you've pre-tuned.
Yeah,
All my
unless you
vehicles were
pre-tune at home.
pre-tuned. And it depends on your elevation. If you go to a higher elevation, you have to retune, but you can retune as you drive, right? You'll know as soon as you fire it up.
And you will retune every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you drive, you retune.
Yeah, because from the morning to the afternoon, temperature change.
Yep.
Anyways,
Yep.
there's a whole bunch of
10 minutes when you're near the mountains, man. You can go from 20 degrees to 30 degrees in half an hour.
Yeah.
And
You know-
that's what I like. That's why I like batteries. The batteries, you get where you need to go. You take your battery, put it in the car, plug it, go. You're gone.
You know what's happening now is those Toyin motors are getting really popular because they're 4-stroke and they can run as air cooled or liquid cooled, and they come in 2 or 1 or 4-cylinder engines.
I don't know those engines.
I
They're
don't
on
know
which
what
cars?
Look up Toyin, Toyan. People took a battery operated. Someone took a battery operated crawler that was 1/8 scale, and he put a Toyin engine in it. He got it to fit.
Those Kevin. I've seen Steve from
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Those are getting popular, but those aren't nitro. Those are gas. Those aren't 2-strokes. Those are 4-strokes.
That's got to be a lot of weight you're adding to the RC, though, if you're adding a liquid
Yeah.
cool.
That's why they're going into bigger vehicles like 8th and higher.
But still, like, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, say it's a 10-pound truck to start with. And then you add a bigger motor and a liquid cool system. You got to be adding half the weight of the vehicle. That's got to jump it to like a 15, 16-pound vehicle. Just what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm like, it's got to be rough.
I've seen the 5th scale
there you
ones running the 4-cylinder ones.
Frank's got it up, the exact same one I'm looking at.
Yep. Those are getting popular.
That thing's got a friggin' fan on it.
It
Yeah.
looks like a supercharger.
Supercharged.
Oh, you could do that too with the turbos.
It's also got a small electric brushless motor just to start.
Yeah, yeah, it has a starter.
That's nuts. I see a liquid port down on the bottom.
Yep. And there's people that you can find online who put them in different vehicles that were once electric and put those in there. One, there's a two-cylinder one in a Land Rover. Yeah.
They're methanol engines.
Yeah.
It's just regular gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Talbot ruined a Cross RC truck by putting one of those in it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you go that when you can have a Losi 5T with a 34 cc motor in there, like I do?
Or a fifth scale with a 15 horsepower motor.
That's what I got. You know?
Laminator.
I mean, they
Yeah,
look
the
cool.
Raminator, yeah. Yeah.
Those engines look cool. I can't say that they don't.
You need a trailer to have a Raminator.
Yeah, my buddy unboxed one in my living room the other day, and just seeing it in person was like totally different than seeing it on the video.
Yeah.
Like the tires were like bigger than my hands, bigger than my head almost. You know?
Yeah, they're big.
It's a big machine, that's for sure.
They scream. Yeah.
And you can get, and they now have an electric conversion for it.
It's just like when it first came out, some people were like bashing the video. That thing is not fast. It can't even pull a wheelie. It can't do this. And then you tell the people, do you realize how big that thing is?
80 pounds.
No, say a truck weighs 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Small child.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he
mean,
finished putting it together last night or the night before last. He said he stayed up till 3 in the morning just to get it done because he's up north. So
Cool.
it'll be
yeah,
fun.
but that uses a gasoline engine, a weed whacker engine. So
Hey, thank you very much, Marcel. Merci beaucoup, Marcel. He's from
so
Vancouver, Canada. Cool.
I mean, I thought you should know that Radioactive that those Toyon engines are nice, especially when you put a 4-cylinder in a big car.
Nothing
like a
I would
scale.
ever. Nothing I would ever be interested in.
It's just I know those are getting popular, but they're not nitros. So
Well, like I said, Nitro for me is nothing I'd play with anymore. I don't even own one anymore.
yeah.
Right, I'm into the electric crawling now.
What about did you know Tommy? I had some gas powered 8 scales that had OS engines in them.
Yeah, there was lots of them back in the day. Yeah, Losi had a lot of 8-scale nitros.
So
like I said, I can't even find one today.
Oh,
Only
no.
like Frank said, special ordering them, right?
Well, it looks like Nitro Freak wants to come here. Maybe he can help you find some motor or find some parts because I know he's got a lot of different Nitro stuff.
Oh yeah.
So he's big into that nitro. So
Yeah.
then he would also be big into. He'd also like those Toyon engines.
No,
No, that's not Nitro.
Totally different.
we're for racing.
Nick Baker says Toyon has nitro versions as well.
Not sure what your email is, Nitro Freak, but I thought you were on my chat. So if you want an invite, send me an invite at the Tank RC. Not an invite.
He's probably got it.
An email, thetankrc@gmail.com.
Radioactive. Looking for anything A-scale nitro. I got a couple of them sitting here.
Oh yeah.
I've got a Kyosho 777 Truggy, 777 Buggy, and I've got the original HPI 21 Savage with one of the last Pico 26 Outlaws in it.
Nice.
Kyosho still does make nitro cars.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're still big into the 1/8 scale racing, buggy racing.
think it's the Mad Force by Kyosho, that truck. I think that one's Nitro.
And what they're doing now is they're veering all of their nitro over toward the 8 scale, which used to be their buggies. It's their GT class now. And those bodies are hard to find because it's such a big body. You know, a lot of guys were running those, just running oval with them, and they were just running the GTX 28s that came in them from the factory.
Okay.
But now that Pico 26 Outlaw that I have in that Savage was rated at 3.6 horsepower.
Yeah, the Picos were nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come with a nice price too.
Well, I
They're
know
expensive too.
I know Tamiya still makes some nitro. Kyosho still makes nitro. Traxxas still makes nitro. So there's still some people making it.
Yeah, Tamiya has, I think, one car. It might be the Calibra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Traxxas just has the Revo and I think the T-Max still.
Okay.
Well, do they still do the T-Max?
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so. Nitro Freak, I did send you an email.
They got one that looks like the Rustler, that's Nitro, and also one that looks like the Flash, called the Slayer, that's Nitro.
Oh yeah, there's another one. It's the 3.3 that I forgot the name of that one. That Traxxas has one.
The Revo.
There's a couple different
Yeah.
T-Max. One of them's a 2.5.
Revo
one
3.3.
of them's 3.3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Revo, I think, is a starts with a 3.3.
3.3, yeah.
There's the Jado, Slayer.
Yeah, Shadow.
Yeah, the Jado was real popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks like a
A
Rustler.
couple of them.
Kyosho had a 3-speed transmission on a monster truck that was nitro.
Yeah, I don't know what's on that remake of the USA 1.
Yeah.
Because I know there's one of them versions is nitro, the other one's electric that you can get.
That's true. That's true.
There's a lot of nitro boats out there, which I find weird.
Yeah, those are starting to get popular again.
Mhm.
The nitro boats.
Yeah, there's no sound violations on the water.
Yeah.
No?
There is here.
No, not around here.
Mainly because the little lakes that people go to for that are in smaller housing developments. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can't go to a pond in a neighborhood. I mean, like lake.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna
one
go to the
in front
local
of
golf
myself.
course.
I wouldn't be running those. I wouldn't be running those boats on like a Lake Erie or a Great Lake because they wouldn't. They would because of the because of the waves.
Lake in Michigan.
driving on
Lake
jump
Michigan, we did it.
You're not going a mile and a half out on the lake.
No, just offshore, you know, and it's clear. Lake Michigan's pretty clear, so there's you can get underwater shots of it going over top of you, and it's pretty cool.
Well, I say that because sometimes it can be very choppy, and that wouldn't be a good day to do it. Doesn't
Well,
matter because it comes inland.
Any day on the Great Lakes where it's choppy, it's not a good time to be out there.
No.
Unless you're in a really big boat.
There we go. We have Nitro Freak on with us.
Still Nitro free.
No, we can't hear you. You got to turn on your mic or select a mic in your settings.
Excuse me.
Is that a yellow Camaro behind you?
Yeah, it's a yellow Camaro. It's a
Might be a 1970 SS.
it's a Autobot.
Yeah, Bumblebee.
That's the old Autobot.
72 split bumper.
There. Can you speak? Say something.
No,
Nope. He's not muted either.
no, it's in his settings. He's got a
change your mic in your settings.
there's a little icon on the bottom of a microphone. Go there and select a microphone. Oh,
Oh,
Okay,
there we go.
starting to hear you
There we
now.
go.
We good?
Got you
Yeah.
now, Frank.
So I assume you don't like any of the new Camaros.
Why would I want to drive a new one when I can own a classic one?
Yeah.
Well, the engine's very nice in the ZL1.
That thing right there behind me will
Okay.
take just about any ZL1 right off the
Okay.
street.
Right off the bat, guys, I'm going to cut you off. We talk about RCs here. Not
Oh,
you're at it again, talking about.
That's the next thing I was about to say. We could save that for another day.
Yeah, we'll keep that for the after-hour show.
I wanted to hop in because I very rarely get to come into this live feed and talk Nitro with anybody. I always think it's interesting when people say Nitro is dead. Nitro is so far from dead, it's not even funny. When people say Nitro is dead, it's just because it's not probably popular in your area where your hobby shops are selling more electric stuff than they are Nitro stuff. So per area where you're at, it might be dead. You might not find a lot of Nitro sitting on a shelf or even the platform, but you can order any Nitro you want through any local hobby shop.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hobby shops nowadays will not keep a lot of the kits on the shelves, specifically because like the racer kits, you don't have a lot of bashers wanting those high-end $700-800 kits. Then they build it, then another $300-400 engine, $100 set of tires, your electronics, your $1,400-1,500 into a Nitro by the time it's all ready to pull the trigger and go. That's the issue that a lot of people are seeing with Nitros nowadays, but you can still find just about anything Nitro out there. As far as like the tuning aspect, I'm not sure who it was that was saying that you got to tune it every time you go out and run. That is very untrue. If you are having to tune a Nitro engine every time you fire that up, you have an air leak somewhere because
I have to agree to disagree with you on that one because it all depends where you live in the world.
Well, here's the thing now. If let's say where you're at today, you tune your engine and then you drive an hour down the road to go run it and you're at a higher or lower elevation, yes, you will have to tweak it. But once you tune your Nitro engine and you're using it in the area nonstop that you tuned it in, you should not ever have to be tuning your needles unless it's winter versus summer. That's the only time you're really going to have to greatly tune a Nitro engine. I've been doing Nitro for many, many years, and I can tell you, I very rarely ever have to tune any of my engines from the day I break them in. I do a box tune on them, do the final break in, and then put a final race tune on them. As long as I'm not going somewhere drastic, high elevation or below sea level, you will never have to touch your needle. If you have air leaks, which can happen at any time and become very, very common, yes, you will have to compensate for your tune. But that's one of the biggest things I hear a lot of why people say they get out of Nitro or don't want to get into Nitro because they hear it's too high maintenance, the horror stories. You'll see that Nitro nowadays is not as popular as it was 10, 15 years ago for one simple reason. Electric is the way of the world.
It's easy.
It is. It's easier. Plus, the big problem you come across nowadays is this generation of kids getting into the hobby. They don't know anything about the internal combustion engine. So they don't know how to tune. They don't know the fundamentals of a carburetor, how to put needles in sync. So you give them a Nitro, they have no clue what they're doing. I mean, I talk to a lot of the younger generation at the racetracks that I race at, the guys that race the electric class. And I usually try to have conversations, why electric over Nitro? And I hear the same thing. Well, no, I don't have anybody local that can teach me how to tune. I don't know what I'm doing with it, this and that. And that seems to be what it is. You look at most of the high school nowadays, a lot of the high schools nowadays, like when I was growing up, you don't have auto shop or what we called, BOCES or stuff like that, where you got to learn about engines, tearing them down, rebuilding them, carburetors, fuel injection, all that stuff. And that's the big part of Nitro. If you do not know how an internal combustion engines work and you don't know how to tune a carburetor and get the high and low speed needle in sync, you'll be lost in the sauce. And that's what steers a lot of guys away.
Yeah, but and like you were saying earlier, like with the headache thing, like the nitro is a headache. To you, it's not because you know how to
No.
tune it. But to
Yeah.
somebody new, like you were saying, that does not know anything about combustion, does not know anything about motors, for them, it's a nightmare because
is.
now they got to take it out of the box. They have to put the fuel in it, and all of a sudden they crank it up, and it's running square. It's running blah, 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 it's sputtering. It's like you physically have to tune it, and people you go well, tune it. Well, what is that? Like you got to turn the needle, and then some guys tune it while the motor's off, just like you were showing on one of your videos the other day. The guy was tuning it while the engine was off, turning the screw, and then he was trying to start it, and then it didn't want to start again. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different things you do have to learn. You do have to look on some videos on YouTube, but be careful where you look because you can find garbage on YouTube.
And that's just what I was about to say. There are tons of
Tons.
people on YouTube that show how to tune a nitro engine, how to properly break them in. But as you said, I 100% agree. There is a lot of people out there that make videos doing stuff very improperly. And it's like that in any hobby. You always have them guys that think they know everything there is to know about the hobby, and they are not teaching the newer guys coming up into the ranks the proper way of doing stuff. And one thing I've always said, what works for you might not work for me. What works for someone else, I might not agree with. But even nowadays with electric, I mean, let's face it, you could find a YouTube video on how to change your socks and underwear. There's enough videos out there that'll teach you how to get into nitro. A lot of what it is yes, it's a lot easier to just stick a battery on a battery charger, plug it in, hit the on switch, and you're out going. It's a little bit more when you're dealing with either pull starts or a backplate engine and having to run a bump box. But the thing is, once you learn it, okay, once you get past that first hurdle of actually learning how to break an engine in, learn how to tune it, after that, it's easy. It's very, very easy. But the problem is a lot of people don't want to take the time to do it.
That's the big thing. Today's kids, it takes time. They want to be able to plug it in and go.
Yeah, they're lazy. I see
lazy.
that. I see it at the track all the time when I go to the races.
They
And
don't
I
want
I
to
got
play
a
with it.
guy that has been racing out here for over 15 years. He gets fed up with going from the other side of town to the track. There's no elevation change really. It's in the Phoenix area. It's the temperature change.
Hmm.
He
If
gets
you're
so fed up
in an
with that.
area, if you're in an area that's very high in humidity, that can
No.
cause problems too.
Phoenix, we don't have humidity. That's not the problem. It's just the heat change from the time he leaves his house to the time he gets to the track. You start at like 85 degrees, say at 6 o'clock in the morning. He gets to the track and gets ready to run at 10 o'clock. It's over 100 degrees. That makes a big difference in it out here.
Out there, yeah, I could see, but even then, you still won't have to turn your needle much more than like a 5-minute increment, because the only real time that you really have to majorly tune a nitro engine is, let's say you're running it in the summertime and your average temperature is 90 to 100 degrees. You tune it in the summertime because it's hotter, the air, it's harder to breathe, so you have to lean it out more. Versus the wintertime when it's colder, there's more oxygen in the air, so you have to richen it up. That's really going to be the only major times that you're going to have to do any major tuning is from summer to winter. And that's even depending on where you live. If you're even somebody who's going to run a nitro in the colder temps, which most people will not do. They'll usually run electric in the wintertime so that they don't have to mess around with the nitros. This way, when the late spring, early summer comes around and the temperatures are back up hot, you really don't got to mess with your engines. They're already tuned for that temperature. But
Bob's RC did a comment here, which I don't really agree on, and I think them are fighting words. He said, "No offense to anyone, but I feel electric is too much like a toy versus nitro or gas powered, not so much."
There's an uneducated man.
Well,
Yeah.
that comes from your diehard nitro guys right there, because I hear that statement all day long, and your electric guys will not agree with that. Because see, like
No.
I'm one of those people. I grew up on nitro. I go all the way back to when Cox was really big back in the
Electric
day.
has way more torque than your nitro will.
A stock
Also-
nitro, yes. A modded nitro, really can't
Oh,
say that.
Yep, we can.
A modded electric versus a modded nitro, I don't think you can stand a chance. And on speed, electric is way faster than your nitro is going to be.
That's all gonna come in your gearing, because let's face it, guys, you guys run on, okay, so let's say all electrics have a spur gear and a pinion. Okay, a nitro car has the same thing. We have a spur gear and we have a clutch bell, which the clutch bell would be the pinion.
How many nitro cars beat world records on speeds?
Have you seen what some of the mile per hour is on some of the latest nitros out there?
No.
Yeah.
I've seen some doing over 100.
Yeah, they're killing well over 100 mile an hour. Some of them are up into the 150 to 160 mile an hour, which is like worldwide record breaking.
That's about half of what an electric can do.
No, it's not.
Right.
There's electrics that are doing that. There's electrics that are doing 160, 170,
No.
and there's others that have done over 200.
Yeah,
But the
over-
thing
well
is
over 200.
too, it's a lot easier to do it with a nitro than an electric. With an electric, you got to go to a huge can motor. You got to go to a ring and pinion that's crazy. You got to buy all them extra fans to keep that ESC and motor cool. You don't have to do that with a nitro. Okay?
Believe it or not,
You
there's
don't
a
have to
liquid
do
coolant.
that with a nitro. That's why I'm not. I will agree with you guys to say, is electric faster? Overall, yes, but it's not by great milestones, because back in the day, nitros were pretty much around one speed. If you had a nitro that did 40, 50 miles an hour, you were king of the neighborhood. When you had some of the original OG modders that started learning how to mod these engines and do what a lot of guys, because you have fuel mileage mods, you have drag mods, and when the drag mods started getting really, really popular, that's when the whole world of nitro really, really changed, because now you could take an average 40 to 50 mile an hour nitro, do a little bit of gearing, and now you could break the 100 mile an hour barrier with ease. And you didn't have to go to great lengths to keep that engine cool at all, like you do on the electrics. I see some of these guys out there that got to get those big triple and dual fans that run you a couple of $100.
They're not doing it right. That's why you don't need what's built right.
Well, that's what I see a lot of them using, and that's what I'm saying. Like when I see some of these guys getting those big fans that cost a couple of $100, hell, my whole nitro engine only costs a couple of $100. So now you got a couple of $100 in cooling fans, a $200-300 motor, and your ESC. You're probably right between the motors, the fan motors, your regular motor, your ESC, maybe close to $1,000, depending how big of an electric motor you're putting. You could be close to $1,000, where we can take a good reputable, like an Adam Drake 82 engine or a Rhonda Drake engine around the $500-600 mark, have an engine modder mod it, and we can pretty much keep up with what these electrics are doing. I'm not saying they're going to beat them, but I hear that scenario all the time where people say, oh, electric will always be faster than nitro, this and that. To a point, yeah, but not to the lengths that people are really saying it. And I see that a lot, as people say, oh, there's no comparison. An electric will spank a nitro all day long. There's videos out there of guys with nitros killing 8S platforms. Okay. John Bodegel, he has a video where he has a modded 4.0 low C truggy whooping up on an 8S. I forgot what it is. I mean, just putting this thing to shame. And all he has is like a $300 nitro engine with a $100 mod on it, some gearing on it, And this 8S platform is just being left in the dust. Now,
Yeah, you got to be careful on which 8S also. There's so many
Yeah.
factors that
Yeah, there is.
Only been running a
There's weight.
fuel cell and an 8S truck and
Yeah.
with bald tires, and the guy doesn't know how to drive.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I always like to, to get in on these conversations, because I hear it a lot. And it's no disrespect to anybody, and I'm not downing anybody for their opinion. I just kind of wanted to state the case that, nitro is not as dead as people think it is, and they're really not, that bad. Nitro's, if in the right hands of somebody that knows what they're doing with it, you can have just as much fun with a nitro as you can an electric.
Well,
I
they're
will
definitely
say,
fun, and they'll always be cooler. It's
Yeah.
just
I'm going
what
to tell you,
wanna run all day long is reliability and consistency, and you're not. gonna
and
get
that's one of the things that I love about nitro. When I go to a track, just like a play around track, and I'm on the track with the guys that are running electrics, they're only going to be able to last as long as their battery lasts. Then when it dies, they got to come off the track, go either wait to charge up a new battery, or they've already got a couple of charge with them where they could swap them out. Me, the fun never ends. I can keep running that track for hours upon hours as long as it takes me to keep pumping fuel into the fuel tank. I don't ever have to have a cool down period. I don't ever have to shut it down to do anything whatsoever. That thing will keep going and keep running if you have a conservative tune on it. And as long as I can keep pumping fuel into that tank, that thing will keep running around that track all day long.
Some of my RCs, I can change the batteries pretty fast, just as fast as you can fill up. So
Oh yeah, you can.
there's not that much downtime on batteries.
And even with the electrics, a lot of people like the electrics because the electrics are a lot less maintenance. Now, I will say a nitro, there's a lot you have to do to a nitro after you run it for so long. Cleaning it, checking the clutch bell bearings, the bearings in the engine, the pinch. There's a lot of different things that you have to do to a nitro that you don't have to do to an electric. So when you really break it down, both sides of the hobby, whether it nitro or electric, they all have their ups and downs. They're going to have their pros and their cons. It's just today, more people prefer the electrics over the nitro because they're easier, they're less maintenance, they're a lot cheaper. I mean, price wise, way cheaper than some of the electrics, are probably like cost half of what it costs to build a nitro. I mean, just in our engine alone, to have a good reputable engine, you can have $500-600 in the engine, another $150 in the pipe and header.
Well, that's what Steph from the LED wheel was saying in the comments, is that out of the box, you go to the store, you buy an RC, a nitro RC or an electric RC. You get more out of the box, out of the electric, I think, than you do in the box.
Now, if you're buying one of the nitros out of the box that's ready to run, that's what we call an RTR. I mean, I know you guys know that term.
Yep.
So there's a big difference between building the kit nitros and then the RTRs. Any of the RTR nitros that you buy out of the box are going to be for the blue collar worker who doesn't have a lot of money to spend in a nitro, where you can go buy a nitro out of the box for $400, $500 on the big end, ready to go and play with it. You might just have to buy your fuel in a cheap charger to charge the battery that is running your servos for your brake and throttle. But then,
Nitro Freak.
Yeah.
Do they have nitro crawlers?
They don't have
like
nitro
racing and stuff like that.
Some guys have tried to do nitro crawlers, but I'm going to tell you what the problem with a nitro crawler is. Being with a crawler, you want them things to go slow to get over your obstacle, to get the tires to bite. The problem with a nitro's power is not very linear like an electric is. It's very off and on switch. So it's either hard hitting or no power at all, depending on the RPM range that you're in. That's why you'll see nobody really will ever make a crawler with a nitro engine. Now, I think it was Tank earlier was showing an engine that had a fan on it, looked like a regular car engine.
Yep.
So there is a company out there producing engines like that do run on nitro, that guys are putting in crawlers. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I hear there is a company that is trying to dabble into the There you go. One of them right there.
That's a 4-cylinder.
This
Yeah,
is
I
nitro engine.
I actually have a
Nitro.
buddy of mine who bought one of those and is putting it in a crawler right now. And so far really, really likes it. I've been toying around with the idea of buying one of them, but I'm kind of hold off and waiting because I don't have any kind of platform right now built that I could put something like that in. But I do have a buddy of mine who just got one of them and is trying to put it in a crawler because it's supposed to be a more tamed engine than the stuff average nitro guys use. Pretty much most of the nitro engines out there are either for straight power bashing or straight racetracks. The power on them is like a light switch. It's off and on, night and day. It's not very harnessable to
Like a
go ahead.
like a 4-cycle engine.
Yeah, pretty much. That's really all a nitro engine is. It's a mini 2-stroke. It's a mini 2-stroke engine is all it is. So it's either all balls or none at all.
No balls.
Yeah, either get all balls or no balls. That's the problem.
4-cylinder version looks like an old iron Duke motor out of a Vega.
And that's a bad day with a nitro engine.
Piston.
Oh yeah,
That's a piston.
a
That's
nitro
a
freak.
bad day with my OS 21.
Oh yeah. Brad has a question.
Nitro freak. Did you know that they now have liquid cooled electric motors now?
I haven't seen any. I've heard of it.
I have. Yeah,
That's
you
supposed to be a really, really good idea.
Around a long time.
Yeah,
I
they've
mean,
been around
well,
for a while.
Yeah, they've been out for a while because you look at all your electric boats, they have electric cooled.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
They're doing it for on-road use. They're doing it for road use now too.
Yeah, all the boat engine, even the ESC is water cooled. It has a metal jacket that goes around it, and it has hoses that go into it. But now I know what you're saying, like the on-road stuff. I heard a rumor out there that somebody was supposed to be designing something like that. I've heard of it, but I have not seen it. The thing that would be interesting is to see how are they getting the water to flow is what I want to know how they're doing that. It's kind of like the last time I was in here, we had the conversation about fuel injected nitro engines.
I said that.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. I remember when we had that conversation of why it would not be feasible because price wise, you know, you take a nitro engine and try to convert it to being fuel injected. Now you have to enter an electronic box to power the fuel injection unit. So that's going to drive the price up. The cool factor is there by all means, but the pocketbook for most people, I don't see something like that being very pocket friendly. I mean, you're looking at some of the most basic nitro engines today start out at $400. Most of them, like a lot of the high-end OSs, like the Adam Drake's and his wife Rhonda, both have their signature series designed by OS. Just about all of the high-end OS lineup, from the Tessman engines, the Drake engines, those things are all $600 and $700 engines. Now you take one of them and try to fuel inject them, you're definitely pushing past the limits of $1,000 engine.
Electric is the same thing. Electric is the same friggin' thing for money wise. In other words, you buy yourself a ready to run truck. First thing you do, or 90% of the people, first thing they do, they put a kick-ass system, and the power system that starts off or about $400. So that's what you're going to pay for good.
Every time I build a slash, it costs me about $2,000.
Yeah, and then it goes up from there. Like you can get 800, $1,000, $1,200. Like you can go high with electric, just like you can with.
Yeah, I never realized that even the electrics nowadays were reaching those prices because you know I've been doing nitro for years, and I always get the same question. Everybody's always asking me, "Dude, do you own any electrics?" And I'm like, the only electric I own is I have one of the Arma Infractions and one of the 3S Typhons. That's it. And you know,
some of the drift cars for some of the prices of those.
Yeah, and the electrics that I have are only a couple $100. When I start seeing some of these electrics that are, you know, $1,500, $2,000, breaking the 200-mile-an-hour barrier on road cars, it's like, to me, that's no longer, I don't want to say fun or an economical hobby, because You know, that those are like having ATVs almost, or a motorcycle, you know, price range. I mean, you're taking a plastic toy and, you know, you got to take a mortgage out on it just to be able to afford one of them. I don't know
If
how
I
some
sold
of
all
these.
my RCs, I could buy a condo.
I look at it this way. I consider RCs, real cars, just smaller, but I don't call something you can do 100 miles an hour a toy anymore.
Yeah, to me, well, and that's the thing. I remember back in the day, like I said, if you had an electric or a nitro RC that was capable of hitting 45, 50 miles an hour, you know, you were pretty much king shit on the block.
Mhm.
It's not a toy anymore.
Yeah, when I started seeing some of these electric, the infractions, the what are those? What's that other one? The F1 looking car.
The Limitless.
Yeah, the Limitless. There's a guy right now on Facebook that just broke the Limitless record, and I've been following him. His last name is McCoy. I'm sure you guys have probably seen him, but he started out with a Limitless that hit 100, then he made it do 120, 130, 140. He's already over 185 now. The the XO1 Traxxas, from what I understand, it was the first RC to hit 205 mile an hour. That's supposed to be the record right now. And this guy McCoy, he's already at 185 with a Limitless, and he still has more gearing to go that he says he hasn't even played with. So I'm sure he'll be able to break that record. But what I'm getting at is agreeing with what you say. When you have RC cars, especially on road, and what fascinates me is the way some of these guys are filming these things. Is you got the guy driving it up at one end of the street, leaving a guy down at the other end filming the flyby. And I'm gonna tell you what, I am not gonna be filming anything or close to anything unless I'm between the road and a concrete barrier that's breaking the 150 mile an hour mark. I mean, 110 is insane. I've seen a video where a guy on YouTube, I think they just took it down because of the graphics of it, but there was a guy running a Limitless wide open pass at 170 mile an hour, hit the camera guy at the end of the street, and literally took his ankle clean off took his foot, severed at the ankle clean off his leg. I'm like,
wow.
Why would you even be in the road? The guy, I mean, he made a nice pass, got towards the end, and it started parachuting. He lost control over it, and of all the things in the world to hit, it hits the guy with the camera on an open parking lot. I'm like, that's some bad luck.
Kevin's helmet that did that. He hit
was it
his buddy? Yeah, right at the end, he took his ankle out.
Man, I saw that video about a week ago. I was like, yeah, it's cool to have them things, and I think it's pretty interesting myself to see any RC car. I mean, to me, that was the most fascinating thing in the world, because when I was growing up, I thought if you had a 50 mile an hour RC, that was bad to the bone. When I started seeing guys claiming 100, 110, 120, I thought they were full of crap. And then when I actually started seeing friends of mine buying these things and me physically getting to go watch them make passes down a flight line or an open parking lot with a GPS and legitimately hitting these speeds, I'm like, that right there is insane. Especially when you got a toy car out of the box with some mods hitting 200 miles an hour. I'm like, to me, that is so insane to me. When is enough? Okay.
Never.
Exactly. It's like, how fast do you want these things to go?
Sound barrier, past sound barrier.
Yeah, and I guess again, it's the cool factor to be the guy out there, to be the only guy on the earth to say, I've got the fastest Limitless in the United States, or the fastest infraction. And I get it. That's what a lot of it is. The guy McCoy that I'm talking about, watching his videos, he's on the Facebook ARMA sites, and he gets the question asked a lot, what does it cost to make your Limitless hit those speeds? And he's already $2,000 or more from the last I heard. It's cost him over $2,000 to reach them speeds. But if that's what you like doing, then that's what you like doing. But I mean, to me, that's crazy.
Hey, Nitro Freak, there's a guy you should also watch called Stuart Mack. I mean, he's doing electrics, but he's gotten various cars. He's done a lot of Tamayas. He's got one to do 146 miles an hour, a Tamaya.
But see, I like the old school Tamayas and all that stuff. I'll be honest, when you mention like Kevin Talbot, I don't watch him at all. I mean, no disrespect to what he does, but I think he's a very an arrogant guy. I cannot watch him for more than a couple of minutes. He just thinks that he's the greatest person in the RC world. And I get it. The dude's a millionaire. I mean, I've heard people talk about some of his videos. He'll take a $300-400, RC and destroy it in one run. And 3 hours later, got another brand new one right out of the box running it again. And he just, repeats, play and repeat, and keeps doing that. It's like, wow.
And go watch his eBay courses. Go watch the eBay course. Eh?
Yeah. Well, I hear he makes a lot of, and he also, he did it right. He's a businessman. He makes a lot of money off his YouTube and he started doing YouTube. Like I remember when he was making videos of taking a shotgun and blowing up washer and dryers out in the field, just shooting at them. Seriously, that's really how Kevin Talbot started out.
Oh yeah, or putting something in there to rotate in there.
Yeah, he didn't even start out in the RC world. When he first started getting into YouTube, it was just making videos that would attract any kind of attention to his YouTube channel. And once he started doing a lot of crazy and stupid stuff, then he got smart where he saw the RC hobby itself is a very popular thing. And then he started getting sponsors to send him, cars, and then doing his things that he does and all that. And he's just taken off from there. I mean, I'm not going to knock the guy and just, I can't watch a lot of his stuff, but he did do it right. He did.
So what I was surprised is some of the cars he's wiped out at 100 miles an hour, they weren't that badly damaged. Stuart Mack. You should look him up.
I'll check out his videos. Yeah, I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, he's a guy in Australia, and he also has done Arma stuff. He's done speed runs with Arma, so he's done stuff besides Tamaya.
Okay.
So he goes to a place. Sometimes there's a lot of action going on there, but usually he goes to a place where there's a lot of buildings, that for business buildings, warehouse types of buildings.
Industrial park.
He's right. Yeah. He has an industrial park straight line. He's doing it. So that's
the
where
only stuff that I was watching when I heard of Kevin Talbot is when him and a bunch of other guys, they made that big ass ramp in a field, and they were launching their RCs off at full speed, seeing who can hit the highest. I don't know if you guys ever watched any of those.
Yeah.
It was crazy watching them because, I'm thinking, some of us got a lot of money invested in our RCs. We're not intentionally launching these things to the moon like this guy is, because he's taken an RC, modifying it to do, 150 mile an hour across the field, hitting a ramp. The thing is shooting to the moon, and then it comes crashing down. And when it hits the ground, it just explodes into a million pieces. And they're doing it for a record to see who can go the highest and the farther out. And they keep doing that, every so many weeks. And I'm like,
it's at a place called Paddlesworth. It's actually has a track, and they they go to Paddlesworth and do like the long jump competition.
Yeah. I heard that's what it was, like a long jump competition. I guess they do it annually or something like that.
Yes.
It's like a really big thing that they do it. And I thought it was cool to watch it. But then I was sitting there thinking the amount of RCs that these guys are destroying, because I've watched some of them, they hit this ramp. They're flying to the moon, but when they come down, they just explode in a million pieces because they go so high up and they're coming down so fast. They're just destroying themselves. And for guys like Kevin Talbot, just kind of laughs it off and be like, oh, hang on, I got 5 more in the back of the truck. Let me go get a fresh RC. It's like, wow.
People keep telling me, go to a skate park. I don't want to purposely try accidentally wreck. I hate going to skate parks to try to destroy my car, because that's what I feel you're going to do. You can destroy your car at one of those, because it's concrete too when it lands it.
Not always, Brad.
Skate parks, baby.
Skate parks.
I hate going. I would not go to a skate park. I don't have a lot of money, and I'm not going to go out of my way to possibly break it in such a way. It's going to cost me a lot of money to fix it.
You can still go to the skate park, have a lot of fun, stay there for 2 or 3 hours, and not even break anything. It's how you
right.
I don't want to take the
agree with
chance.
Just don't
Tank.
jump, Brad. Just drive around it. Don't.
Well, you
don't
ain't
have
even
to
got to
jump
do
off
that. I
anything.
agree with Tank. I've taken some of my nitros to skate parks, and I hit the ramps, and you know I can land them and
Yeah,
not break anything.
you take your time and
it's
you
all
go
in
up
how you
and
do
then
it.
come down on the other side. There is ways to do it without wrecking your car.
I'd
Yeah,
rather have
You
a
see,
four.
Brad, you're
Lyle.
probably watching the videos where you guys see
In
the
the
guys
comments.
hit the half pipe and they
Talking
hit
about
full speed.
proper-
launch it to
Or
the-
even in the pool. Even in the pool, I worry it's going to break.
yeah,
Okay.
well, that's the thing. If you're launching it to the moon and you're landing it on a concrete slab,
Yeah.
you're gonna break stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't-
I'd rather have.
Fire.
I'd rather have a. I'd rather have. I'd rather have the natural terrain cause the jump, not me purposely going to find one.
and I'll tell you what's funny.
Or tracks. I'll go to a track, but I won't do that.
What Lyle just mentioned, I watched a video the other day where a guy at a skate park was doing that. He was killing the ramp, and when that thing landed, it landed so hard that one of his lipos exploded. And what? It didn't even break the car, but the car burnt to the ground because the lipo broke.
I've seen it. I've
When
seen
you
that.
stack the concrete
Orange
so
Eagle,
hard,
wasn't it?
that's what I'd be worried about. I'm like, I ain't wanting to do that.
Coming back on Nitro upgrade real quick, because you mentioned that people upgrade their Nitro to a bigger motor and things like that. I'm just wondering if the Nitro buggies or Nitro truck that you upgrade, if they're similar to the electric cars, because I know like if you use a BLX, 3S BLX, which you have, and you use a 6X BLX from the Typhon, the 2 Typhon,
Mhm.
two completely different platform. One has a center diff and the other one doesn't, and the way everything is set is completely different. Is it the same way in
The
Nitro?
6S Typhon would be equal to like our A scale Nitro buggies.
Okay.
Because it's set up the same way. It has a center diff. You got your front and rear diff, center diff, front and rear stabilizer braces for the motor and all that stuff. It's the motor is a 6S system where it's a little bit bigger motor, bigger ESC, which the 6S would be equivalent to like a 0.21 nitro engine, whereas the 3S, I'd probably compare that to like a 0.19 or a 0.18 nitro engine, which is much smaller. And if I could,
Even though I've seen those doing 70 miles an hour, the 3Ss.
yeah,
Point
well,
18 and point 19, that's pretty small. I thought the Jado was
Right.
33.
well, right here, you're looking at something this size compared to this size. I mean, you can clearly see the difference in the size of the head, the engine. This
Yeah,
is
it
a
looks like
regular-
water straw.
Yeah, this is a regular 0.21, where this is a 0.19 or a 0.8. Actually, this is a 0.18 over OC, which this is an on-road engine. But that's your differences. So this right here, the red-headed one would be the 6S. This would actually, the purple-headed one would be like the 3S. That's pretty much how
You can see
I
the
would-
stroke is pretty long on the 21.
Yeah, well, very much different. And the thing
And the
is,
bore.
too, with nitro engines, there are so many different nitro engines. You have the 3 ports versus the 5 ports versus the 7 ports in the off-road. Then if you get into the on-road arena, you got them from 8 ports, 9 port, 10 port, which are just like insane. With like the bashers, a lot of the bashers in the nitro hobby, they want the engines that are like 0.25, 0.28s, the 30 and the 32s, where racers are going to run pretty much all 0.21s because the power is more manageable on a track versus a 0.25, a 0.28, or a 0.32, which are just all out torque monsters. They're designed to be put in monster trucks for,
Fifth scales.
Well, it's the
well,
same thing with-
fifth scale is completely different. Fifth scale is gas engines, not nitro. That's a
Weed
whole-
whackers. Weed
yeah,
whackers.
when you get into fifth scale, yeah, you're talking weed whacker engines. I mean, that's a whole different arena.
Mhm.
Everything is bigger in fifth scale.
Well, it's
Way
the same
bigger.
thing with electric motors. Electric motors, we have 2 poles, we have 4 poles, we have
Yep.
6 poles. They're in the brushless motors, and then in the brush motor again, you have 3 slot, 5 slot, and there's a whole bunch of different rebuildable, not be rebuildable. There's a whole bunch of different stuff in there.
Removable. Changeable. Also changeable. If there's not rebuildable, it's changeable brushes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's if you're still running brushed motors, isn't it? Because like all the brushless stuff it ain't running on me. I remember back in the days because I like the electrics that I had back in the day. Like I had a lot of the Trinity engines, the Novak ESCs, which
Yep.
Novak's not even around anymore, and that's when everything was brushed. So yeah, they try to keep. I guess in the electric world. Now I don't know the electric world like you guys do because that's where I'm completely different. I'm a diehard nitro guy. I know enough in the electric to get by to be able to play with them. But when it comes to the C rating of lipos and what you got to have for an 8S versus a 6S, you know, the brushless motors that they have nowadays, that's when I fall off the map. The last, like I said, I anything electric that I dealt in was back, you know, the brushed motor days. When everything went brushless, that's where I fell off the map. Everything for me changed, and I fell out of touch with that because back then when I was younger, I was trying to do nitro and electric. And then when the electric side of the house stepped over into the brushless side of the world, that's when I kind of just put the electrics down and just stayed, you know, focused 100% on nitros.
Yeah.
Well,
Real quick.
Oh, go ahead, Brent. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to say hi to somebody that popped
Keegan.
in about 25 minutes ago. Hi, Green.
And Tony.
How you doing?
Hi, Green Frog, and hi, Tony.
Yeah,
Tony's about to come in.
here also. But Green Frog has been there for 25 minutes now.
I said hi to Green Frog when he showed up.
Yeah, and hasn't had a word in. So I just want to make sure his mic is working. Oh, there we go.
Hey, what's on your shirt?
Lucky Charms.
Nice.
Cool.
Love good Irish shirt.
So it's a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun tonight, especially talking about Nitro, and then Nitro Freak came in to educate us a little bit on his version of the Nitro story. So that was kind of cool.
All right, now here's another quick thing for you, Nitro. Most of the motors now, the brushless ones, you see that right there? That's timing.
Yeah.
That's where you can turn it up and make it even quicker. But you also run the risk of burning it out and blowing it up and nuking it and melting it down.
Or going
See,
beyond.
when all that kind of stuff came out, I never got to mess with any of that stuff. And I've tried to educate myself on it, but I'm so far behind the power curve. It takes me a little while to learn some of that stuff. That's like I've said, I'm 100% nitro. Nitro is just so much easier for me because I mean I've got a mechanical background of tuning. You know, I do a lot of drag cars, racing, and all that stuff. So granted, nitro has always been easy for me. Even though I mean, like for you guys, that been doing electric, it's second nature to you. Like nitro is for me. I try to step over in that electric world and mess around with some of that stuff. It's like it blows my mind, the stuff that they got out nowadays in some of these electric cars.
What do you do with your Nitro? Do you actually race them? Do you go to racetracks?
Yes. Yeah, I actually go to racetracks and race, and I bash them as well.
Okay.
Well, you have some Armas. Those are brushless.
Yeah, the infraction and the Typhon that I have. And I actually, to be honest, I didn't even purchase those. I won both of those in raffles, so I got them free.
Cool.
So even in my electric stuff, I have nothing invested in them. I won them free in raffles, and that's why I use them. I'm not the type of person that I'm not like you guys, you know, the newest electric that's hitting the market. You know, I'm not going into a hobby shop and wanting to buy the latest electric. I've always wanted to. Say again.
Have you used them?
Yeah. I use the 3S Typhon quite a bit. I actually like it. Now I was thinking about going to the 6S because I'll be honest, the 3S, I break that a lot. Like I've put so much money upgrading that, and the 3S Typhon, just for the way that I run it, I think I'm just a little too rough on it for the design of that. I don't feel that the 3S Typhon is super durable. Like I'm used to being on a racetrack where I'm beating the crap out of my stuff to get around the track as fast as I can. In the short time that I've had the Typhon, I've already gone through 3 spur gears until I finally went and put a steel one in. Once I put a steel one in and I got rid of the flimsy factory motor plate and went to the hot race motor plate, then I wasn't blowing up bearings. Like y'all know that there was a big issue with the bearings and all them BLX motors.
Mhm.
I was going through a motor every battery that I ran in that thing. Luckily, I saved all the motors. Like I've got 4 of them sitting on a shelf right here that I burnt up. Well, I don't want to say that I didn't burn the engines up, but the front bearing exploded in them.
Yeah, John knows that too well.
Yeah, lucky enough, my hobby shop owner was able to get the replacement bearings, and I designed a way to, after they exploded, it usually leaves the outer race stuck in the can.
Yeah.
So I come up with a way to get those out, be able to install the new bearings in all the motors. So I got 4 brand new fresh motors, including the one that's in it now, and then went and put the hot race motor plate in, because I think on the Typhon, the Granite, and a couple of the other ones, the more common thing was if you jumped them and they landed real hard, that thin aluminum motor plate was always bending. And what it was doing is when it bent, it closed the gear mesh on the ring and pinion. So it was putting a crap ton of side load on the bearings. And without you knowing that, running it would just eventually explode that bearing on the end, and then your motor would lock up. And that's what was happening to me every time I would jump that thing, even very lightly. I'm not talking like when I was jumping this thing, I'm talking jumping it 5-6 foot off the ground and landing. But if you didn't land on 4 wheels and it landed on the nose, and if it landed on the nose hard and it shifted that motor plate, it closed your gear mesh right off. And then, of course, it would pop that front bearing. So then I started doing some research. A lot of guys were saying, hey, you got the same problem that everybody else has. It's a quick, easy fix. Get rid of that stock Arma motor plate that's in there. Go buy that thick, stiff one from Hot Race. Put a new engine in, and you'll be good. Since I've done that, I've been able now, since I put the steel spur gear in and that new Hot Race motor plate, I've ran 8 full batteries through that. Before, I couldn't even get through 1 full battery without it destroying the bearing in the front of the motor. Now, after I've done that, I don't have any more issues. And now I'm bashing it even harder, jumping it even harder. But what I'm finding out now is every so many runs, all the tie rod ends, the camber ends, the metal balls inside the plastic wallow out and wear out so quick. Like I'm going through tie rod ends like crazy. It's like, wow, they could have come up with some better plastics.
Well, you change the tie rod ends on that Typhon now.
Yeah, I've had to do them twice already.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, twice. Yep. I actually, matter of fact, I did a video. I think you might have been in the live feed that I did, but yeah, because I did a live feed showing where I replaced all them, and everybody was asking me, they're like, why are you replacing all the tie rod? I mean, I had to replace every single one, where I could literally take the screw out of them, pop them off. Once I pulled the screw out of the tie rod, the inner metal eyelet would just fall right out of the plastic. I didn't even have to press them out. They were just like falling out. For some reason, the tie rod plastics were just wallowing out around the metal eyelets. They weren't staying snapped in.
Did you put the speed pinion in yours?
No, nope.
Oh, there's a speed pinion that came with the car, but it comes with all their cars.
With the infraction, yes, not with the Typhon though.
Okay.
So the 3S Typhon just comes stock out of the box the way it is. Now my infraction comes with the speed pinion. That thing's for me, it's fast enough stock. I'm not one of those guys. I don't need it to do 150, 160 mile an hour. When I got that, I said my goal will be 100 mile an hour. If I hit 100 mile an hour with it after changing the speed pinion and a little bit better batteries, I'll be happy, because I want to be able. I want to be able to have fun and enjoy it. I don't want to have to do what everyone else is doing and upgrade the fans, the ESCs, the motors to make it do 150, 160. I got it free. I have nothing invested in it. I've already gone through 1 set of tires on the very first battery that I ever charged to put in it out of the box. I blew the first set of tires right off it. That's $70 right there. I had to spend with one charged battery in that infraction. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm going to burn through a set of tires every time I run that thing's going to end up sitting on the shelf an awful lot, because that's going to be more expensive than running my nitros. That right there,
Yeah,
$70. That's almost a case of nitro fuel for me.
Yeah, but to be serious, you've probably done it on your real car also. Like putting a set of tires on your real car the first time you took it out, because
Hey,
it had a lot of torque, it had lots of
different
stuff.
now. That's different now.
It's not different. It's not different at all.
Oh,
The money's
are we
more.
tur-
The money's more, but
Oh yeah,
The money's more and the tires are more. Yeah.
Trying to pick up more
but it's
jerk.
so cool the first time you do it. You go, wow, look at that! I'm burning it up. I'm
I'm
smoking
gonna,
them
I'm
up.
gonna
It's
tell you
cool.
what I thought was the most killer thing, because I always wanted one of the infractions, and I was very shocked that I was lucky enough to win one in a raffle. The thing that surprised me about that thing the most is not how fast it is, not how much torque it has off the line, but if you spin the tires and drift with it, it smells like actual burning rubber, and you can actually get smoke off them.
Yeah.
The first time I was able to do that was so real and lifelike that I couldn't stop burning the tires, and that's what. But I can tell you this: I won't be doing that
That's correct.
all the time. I'm not going to say never
They're belted
again.
tires too. They're belted
Yeah,
tires too.
but I'm not trying to melt the tires that much anymore. Because yeah, $70 a pop, it gets expensive quick.
Mhm.
Per set of 4 is $70, I think. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
$70
$70
for 4.
for, yeah.
I mean, that's what I pay for them at my hobby shop, and that's with a little bit of a discount. They'd actually be a little bit more. My hobby shop,
Trail
I
tires, $70 last you like 5 years.
what's that?
It's nice with trail trucks. $70 pair of tires will last you like 5 years.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's the great thing about crawlers. It's like you know, like you crawler guys, unless you're just going to like a newer style beadlock or a different tread pattern, you guys can buy a set of tires and probably run that set of tires for a year or better. You know, you're not having to worry about every 5 or 6 batteries making them
And three-
go bald and having to put a new set on.
And 3.5 hour run times.
That's the same. That's the same thing with the nitros. With the nitros, run them on concrete in the street, because nitros are very, depending on what engine and your gearing you have, they are very, very torquey down low and will spin the tires all day long, especially being 4-wheel drive. So asphalt and concrete on nitros chews up the tires. I mean, super fast. I mean, almost as fast as that infraction did on one battery, burning up, a $70 set of tires in one battery.
So you don't have a crawler yet?
Not yet.
What are
I've
you
been,
waiting for?
I've been looking at that gatekeeper. When I first saw you with the gatekeeper, see, that thing is more my speed. Like, I like the way that looks. See, I'm not into like the truck and Bronco looking stuff. See, I like the sand rail, off-road course type trucks, like the look that the gatekeeper has. So I've been debating on whether or not to pull the trigger on that. I see it behind you, Lyle.
Lyle showing up his
He's
Bronco.
got a couple of nice ones.
How do you not like the Bronco?
Well, it's not that I don't like them. That to me, I just like the stuff that's mean looking, I guess. I mean, not to say that it's not mean looking, but when I think of like that type of crawler, it's just that crawling, doing everything slow at a slow pace. With
that's not slow.
Hey,
That
hey,
is not a
well, I mean,
slow
I don't know how fast it goes. I'm just like with looking at the gatekeeper, I've seen the guys where they can actually haul ass down the trail on one of them and slow it down to be able to do some rock crawling and all that. And if I was to get into the crawling, and I do, that would be the type of crawler I would want to get. But see, I don't know nothing about crawlers, and that's one of the things that brought me to Tank's channel. This is one of the fascinating things that, from day one that I found this channel. Actually, was Hot Hoopty that introduced me to it, and I started watching all you guys. Like stuff like that right there. That's my pace. I like stuff that looks like that. That's just more.
That means you would like the Kyosho Javelin, because it's sand rail like. It's got
the sand rail type stuff, or what do you call them? The
sand rail buggies.
Yeah, but what are those off-road trucks that they have that do like
Truggies?
No, it's not truggies. They have them in real life.
Rock
racers.
Rock racers.
Yeah, there you go.
Rock bouncer.
Yeah, the bouncers.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
For some reason, I still could see you actually crawling. I could see you actually getting into that.
Well, a lot of people have been trying to get me into the crawling, and we actually, where I live here in North Carolina, we actually have quite a few crawler courses. Like crawling around here has gotten so big, it's not even funny. Like a lot of the guys that just used to be what I would call a full-time basher aren't bashing anymore. It's like now they're dedicating their weekends and getting 10, 12 guys together, and they're going to, you know, an actual crawler course and make a day of it. And I've got
trail running.
Yeah, or do the trail running. Yeah, and a lot of the guys around here have been trying to get me into it, but usually on the weekends, you know, I'm out at racetracks racing. I travel out of state for big races and all that stuff. So, you know, when I go to a lot of the local tracks, sometimes the local tracks around here are starting to build their own crawler courses so that, you know, the hobby shops can tailor to both entities for like the A scale off-road guys that want to run their stuff on a track, or the guys that just have the crawlers that want to go hit the crawler course, or you got the dirt oval guys can go inside the building and run the clay oval course, or the 10 scale clay track indoors and all that. So like my local hobby shop around here, they actually have an indoor 10 scale carpet and clay and a dirt oval. Then the outside, they have the A scale off-road course and a crawler course. So it's kind of something for everybody. And I've pretty much done everything but crawling. So that's the next thing on my list to at least try to start building a crawler and getting into.
You'll get it. You're gonna love it.
It's 11:38 right now here in East Canada. So we're going to start saying goodbye to everybody, and we'll stay for the after-hour show and chit-chat offline. So
Can I say that Froggies was too quiet tonight?
He always is.
Too quiet?
No, he said like 10 words in 4 hours.
All I could say.
So Lyle, we'll start with you saying goodbye.
Good night, everyone. I had a fantastic time as usual. Tune in next week.
Yeah. Radioactive Scale RC.
Hey, thanks for having me, Frank. Thanks for dropping in, Nitro Freak. Always good to switch it up and get some other RC chat going on. It was a good one tonight. So thanks, and we'll see you at the next one.
Cool. Thank you very much. And those were my two Canadian invite for tonight. Everybody else is from the US. What?
Usually there's a lot of Canadians, but not today.
Radioactive, are you not in Alberta?
I'm in Alberta.
Yeah, so we're Albertans. When you think of Canada, you think of Alberta, and it's 9 bitches.
Okay. You're just like Quebec. You want to be separated, right?
No,
No, we don't
want to
play
stop
that game.
paying for Quebec's debt.
No.
$7 million a month. $7 million a month Alberta sends to Quebec. Make that next week's video. We can talk about that for hours.
Cool. Trail Crawler RC.
So much debt.
Thanks for
But they
the
don't have a
invite.
hockey team anymore. I'm sorry.
Thanks for the invite, Tank. I'm gonna get going anyhow. I gotta get up early.
Thank you very much for
Bye,
jumping
Dennis.
in here. Thanks, Dennis.
Well.
John Martin.
Thanks for having me. And it was nice listening to some of the Nitro stuff and learning a little bit about that.
Cool. Thank you very much. Brad Kalman.
Thanks for having me. I'm finally got to use this for my new phone. I'm happy with it right now. Let's hope it stays that way. But
We can see
I'm
what's
glad-
clear, so we're not.
what? I'm glad everybody showed up. I could talk to Nitro Freak about so many different things besides Nitro RCs and talk about actual cars because that's also a favorite thing of mine. And I hope we have another good session next week.
Cool. Thank you very much. AZ Froggy.
Later, all. Have a good one.
Thank you. Green Frog RC.
Thanks for having me, Frank. Sorry I'm late. Glad to hear about some more Nitro. It's always good to learn about that aspect of the RC hobby. It's new, you know.
And don't forget, Nitro's dead. KBRC 13.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tank, and thumbs up on the way out, guys.
Thank you very much. Nitro Freak.
Definitely appreciate you guys all taking the time to hear what I got to say about Nitro. Frank, definitely appreciate you letting me come in. It's always fun. It's only the second time I've gotten to come in, and
Cool.
hopefully I get to come in and hang out with you guys more and start to learn your guys' end of the spectrum of the hobby.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. And this guy, Steve O.D.
Look, guys.
Thanks for dropping in. Really appreciate it. You drop in tonight. It was nice to actually see your face again and get to chat with you. That was nice.
Yes, it is, Steve-O.
It was good seeing you guys and chatting with the guys in the chat and stuff. So thanks everybody for hanging out. And I got to get back on again, get back into it. So thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, guys, for popping in here tonight on RC Talk. And we'll see you next week. Until then, keep those batteries charged. Go out there and break something, because if you're not breaking anything, you're not having any fun.